wonder, is that just coming down to this being the most competitive game yet? Because even if you look at the Mouse Sports game, yeah, it went 3 maps. Map 1 and Map 3 was super one-sided. It wasn't competitive like it is today. So having a closer game and one that's more with a narrow margin, that's maybe where we see k1to not quite finding the same level of success.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. Obviously, one of the key things about k1to was that he was demoted to the academy side a long time ago. So he's been playing as part of that academy team as a main staple sort of veteran, and getting the call up to Big is only for a standing scenario. So it throws the line off quite significantly. And with how close these margins have been in these matches, let's see whether that will end up being to Big's detriment in our final map of the best of 3. Entropiq on the CT start of Nuke. Big into the pistol round with quite a heavy utility basis. Tabs and Tizzy and Crimbo all rocking flashes, smokes, HGs, Molotovs, the full works here for what seems to be the upper XE.
And they've got plenty of options here. Top site, fake, in towards a ramp take. What they don't know about is already Lackey getting fairly aggressive. Catching out some information, aggressing further forward with those dualies towards a ramp entrance. And for Big, pretty much everyone is out here in lobby right now, just waiting for a slight sound cue to get set up and then set the XE forward.
Taps through of the Glocks of Tabson, trying to find anything. Lost that mini position. There's only going to be a smoke down there in that angle, and the CTs hold themselves on the bomb site. Lackey with the dualies, however, kicks things off out towards that ramp control. They try storm it down. They do lose k1to on the big side and get their way into the B site. It's Lackey with another good kill, though. Dink down to 4 HP. Krad comes up good against Tabson. Tizzy and Crimbo, last couple of players remaining. Only Tizzy in that stands on the T side line. A 1 versus 5 for him. Does get Elian, at least for the one decent trade, but might get locked out of the site here.
My goodness, what a hold. Lucky was the single ramp player that dropped down to lower, ends up with a couple, even being goosed in the process, and then with Krad to back him up, they've got the crossfire support to work with. Tizian just trying anything possible, still needs to fight to get the bomb back, gets away with 1, but no more than that. Entropiq gets started off in the pistol, and they make it look fairly easy.
Yeah, big opening for the Entropiq side. Big locked out of the round. You mentioned how easy it did look for them. It felt so simple. That Julie especially doing as much work as it had. And Glocks out on what seems to be the eco basis. Big not willing to force into the second round, and that's fine. Didn't get a bomb plant and not a lot of bonus cash.
I think definitely Ellie and Krad and Forrester are going to be the guys to keep an eye out for when it comes to Nuke. And for Big, not going to be too much to keep an eye out for this second round. Just knowing it's a Glock, see if you can get a kill or two, bait some util, but it's kind of a throwaway round.
Yeah, easy kills for NickelBack. M4 engaging against Tabson and Crimbo. Searson firing away from this upper position, trying to land a decent shot and almost manages to pull it off, but not quite able to. Eventually it's Krad there with the kill against k1to. Tizian working forward, does get that trade together, but no more than that. It feels like Elian with a scout connects to Searson, and NickelBack will finish off Tizian. So 2-0, easy clap, and now the guns come in.
This is now sort of an opportunity for Big to start getting things going on their T side, because realistically, for both of these teams, Big have the edge. They've got the stronger T side in comparison to the two. So if they're able to put themselves in and around the 7-8 sort of marker, they can really set a precedent moving forward into that second half, and it all gets started with this opening rifle round. Get that scout out for Searson, rifles to follow, and try and see if they can fight towards the outside position to start it off.
Kirimbo with that nade on towards Krad, kicking things off on the right foot. Searson working in towards the outside of the scout. We'll find something here against the CT line. Kill found from k1to eventually gets Forrester to drop. So 5-on-3 scenario. Molotov's ringing in. They've still got presence towards the outside. Tabson catching Elian off, and NickelBack trying to find the kill on Crimbo somewhere. SMG towards outside of Lackey tries to engage, and NickelBack gets that frag together. So 4-on-2 situation, and Big, they hold the advantage this time.
Plenty of information. NickelBack thinking about diving down to that lower bomb site. So Big have been able to spot both NickelBack that was in heaven and Lackey that was down there at hell and try and regroup towards the top side split. Lackey's actually going aggressive in heart.
There's no choice in the matter. Tabson about to wrap him and get that kill effective. So good start, good follow-up, and good closer it feels like right now for Big. NickelBack stands alone. Well out of dodge, all the way back out towards ramp with no real presence, no real contest. And no real chance here, it seems.
Yeah, what a perfect response too to come in for Big. You saw the way that the spam was initiated from Keto onto the player close towards Tetris, and the double HEs. Tizian comes away with one, Crimbo gets the second, and that just starts and electrifies the round to some more overpeaks, the ramp take to come outside as well to gather the information, and not really having the indication of where NickelBack repositioned to. The first round for Big.
On the board early, and something we often talk about when it comes to Nuke as a vague, broad concept is the idea of a T side being what wins you the map up. Like, you could have a stellar CT side be marred by the fact that a few rounds came in from one other team because you didn't get much on the T side half. So any rounds here for Big, all going to be positives for them, especially with those guns being brought out, and the same cannot be said for Entropiq in this round. They will try and force the issue, but you can see the damage done early and the lack of real economical build on the CT side. It's going to hamper them. 2 M4s with a FAMAS, a 5.7 and a Scout.
I think they also need to look at it from the outset of whether they start T-side or CT-side. They just got to get off to a good start because it's always been slow for Big. All maps in the series so far, not really hitting the ground running. And now knowing that they're up against a weakened looking buy, this could be the real good shout of answering back and being able to stomp in a lead.
So far in this round, it's been a little bit less stomping and not quite as quick from Big. And towards the outside, it's Krad, actually indoors, excuse me, that gets Tizian. Drops him through the smoke at Squeaky Door. Frag found easy. Opening advantage for the CT side. They'll swap the weapons towards the high HP player in Forest to give that 5.7 towards Krad as Crimbo works in the outside. Searson Scout is watching, just can't quite seem to catch the player. It's Lackey instead that finds Crimbo in at the locker room, so 5-on-3 advantage.
A very good coverage there coming through from Lucky, giving up his post in ramp to assist on the outside position. There obviously would have been information called over from Elian that he's getting pressured by a lot of this util. And for Big, they find themselves in a very awkward position. Yeah, they've got the outside control. They're down by 2.
Might work their way into the B side when NickelBack is still holding at the back of the blue boxes as well. You can see him just sort of holding as the engagement is found by Tabson onto Lucky. Searson domes in Elian, and it's a 3v3 scenario, so they might have to rely heavily on NickelBack trying to do something here. Forrester tries to strike in as NickelBack will get that kill on Tabson. Keto and Searson might get forced into the site. Scout shots continue to connect damage. That bomb in the open, 15 seconds. Entropiq, they got to act now. Shoulder peeks in. Searson tries to fire away, but can't quite seem to connect that shot. Keto drops, and now Searson's got no choice but to hold on to the weapon. A Scout of all things to stay in for Big. And yeah, not ideal, although that shot was pretty sick. Doesn't get the rifle for it though.
No, you can see what Krad's trying to do there. Kill him after time, make it even more uneasy. And we get back into the conversation that I think we've had quite frequently over the course of this series, is Big not quite being able to find those break rounds. The one that just resets the economy completely. Entropiq were very limited in that round, and they managed to 5v3. They had the information play that there was going to be a dive down to that lower bomb side. Big's going to be able to at least have funds in the bank to rebuy, but that was for the taking.
Right on the table for them. Was the outside, the Big side will still make their way in with the AKs. They are going to force around that Scout. Searson, I think, had weapon money to drop a weapon here. The flash is also inbound for him, and playing up top of Silo will catch Elian for some damage. 31 HP. Not quite the kill shot found. Elian can escape instead.
Now Tabson's going to fall with the crossfire. Krad just being able to assist with those outside players to get Elian back into safety, allow him to relocate over towards ramp, and even NickelBack is just jump spotting for the info in secret.
Yeah, knows that a secret player might be on the table with Big not showing any more teeth towards the outside. Footstep heard, and that might be enough for NickelBack just to fall away. He's going to keep jump facing, but he might get the info towards it. They'll make their way downstairs. It's all going to rest on NickelBack for the initial defensive. Backup is also on the way here. You've got Elian inbound from the ramp position, but he's low HP. NickelBack does get that kill in the end, and Searson's there to try cut rotations in from the vents. For the most part, it's all about trying to get towards that B side. Being down by 2 players doesn't make it easy.
No, not at all, especially without Entropiq over-rotating and forcing those mistakes forward. You've got time left on the clock for Big to start putting some pressure down onto Elian and NickelBack. At least Elian's low.
Molotov's up. NickelBack gets Keto. It's 2 left in play for Big. They'll try and get those trades, and Searson will get NickelBack at least, but doesn't land on Lackey. Forrester's right behind him. He does land a no-scope shot to his head. But Forrester there with a trade, looking for Crimbo. And there it is. Nice double up. Nice round overall for the Entropiq side. A little bit costly, but they get 2 AKs out of it. And there's nothing to return for big.
Is it just me, Jay, or are you getting deja vu as well? 4-1, you're up against an anti-eco, there's not a lot of money, the rounds are farming up, it's a first half again, it's Entropiq in the lead. Any vibes, or nah, not really?
I mean, we've been drawing parallels to the last maps in this series all day long so far. Like, it definitely feels like right now Entropiq are in control. It's like you said earlier, Big needed a positive start. They needed to get off on the right foot here. And that has not really happened. Down by 3 rounds. Got to really think about the situation. Blocks being brought in on this next one. Seems like it will be a harsh eco for them.
Well, the positive note for Big is that if they were able to catch the game yesterday of Entropiq versus Copenhagen Flames, they'll know that Entropiq had 7 rounds on their City side in the first half, went over to their T side, only managed 2.
See whether that impacts things going forward. See a couple of upgrade pistols being brought in for Big in this round. The Eagles out for them, so for the immediacy, just these hand cannons without a lot of Kevlar and with only 2 smokes to go for. I guess outside players looking in towards the red box cross. Let's see what they set up for it. They are leaning towards outside for now.
I wonder how Elian starts working with the AWP once it does eventually come through, because he's been playing a lot of credit card, garage, but so far, when he's had the M4 in play at least, not finding a massive amount of success. So that might be an exploitation for Big come the next few rounds.
We saw something similar at the turn of the half on Asian when Entropiq went to their CT half. He didn't get a single frag until very late into the half when he started getting the AWP in his hands. So maybe it could end up being a case that, yeah, it is all about the AWP for him. All sorts of frags going the way of the CT side. Tizian, 1-on-5 with 8 HP to his name, with virtually an impossible task ahead of him. All players on 100 for Entropiq. And yeah, this is pretty easy pickings for them.
And there it is. 5 on the trot. So far hasn't felt like too much of a challenge for Entropiq, but this might be where things turn around ever so slightly come round 7. And Big have got to know to themselves, got to get started, try and get some of these numbers up. Keto and Crimbo still sitting down on just 1 kill.
Well, the guns get brought back in for this next round. 5-1 to the start for now. Entropiq looking good on the CT side, and as you can expect to a certain extent. Sprays through. Initial prods again from the defaults. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to be that first casualty? NickelBack looking in from Secret. Incendiaries down. Do some damage on Tabson and Searsons. That's a positive start.
That's a very good spot for information. Even Lucky just with the pixel position to catch some information, put that smoke down, work out to the left-hand side. And Tabson, who was down there at Secret with his teammate Searson, is actually going to fall to NickelBack, so he can continue aggressing forward out from Secret, and even Krad gets a pick-upper.
Yeah, Searson falling to Elian next. Keto trying to act in over at the hut position, overwhelmed by Forrester next, and Crimbo in a 1-on-5 with the AK pulled out, sprayed down by the opposition. It's Krad credited with the kill. And a 6th round for Entropiq, starting to let this league get out of control a bit. Big.
Yeah, this is slightly disappointing if it continues this way, because there's a lot being built up. First map's close, second map's even closer, and then third map is just a stomper, a complete rollover right now for Entropiq, not even struggling when it came to that sort of situation in the last round. And keep in mind, Jay, that wasn't an eco, that was full rifles.
Yeah, just pistols pulled out for Big. NickelBack finding Tizian. Good start on the CT side. Keto can at least get a deagle back in against Krad. Elian following suit. Bomb plant attempted, but Crimbo doesn't go so far for it. Searson and Tabson, last 2 players left in this one. Lucky will get Tabson to return. And it's all left to Searson now in the 1 versus 4. Burst fire sprays to eventually get that kill. And it's 7-1 to the board here. Entropiq, well, it's CT side. The term we've used quite a lot here. The CT side has gone swimmingly for them.
Yeah, I don't think it's just that though. I mean, we saw them have some very good T sides. We think about Ancient. It's just first halves. That's all it is. It's being able to be in the driving seat, to be that team that's forcing the plays, to be able to get the teams really fired up and get some of the players involved with multi-frags. I mean, even for NickelBack, look at his numbers: 13-1. Forrester, 5-1. Players just aren't really falling that often.
Lack of definitive kills. Big. Try to work their way in with the guns again. We'll lose that opening pick, but Tizian and Keto can trade it. Searson gonna work around the outside into that squeaky door position. Meanwhile, his teammates take some nades and molotovs back out towards the ramp entrance. And NickelBack dishing out even more damage, tagging Keto to 3 points of health and forcing Big to apply the brakes.
Hyper-aggressive there coming through from Entropiq. You've got Forrester that's peeking out from Hut, Lucky the over-aggressors from Rab, and NickelBack might even have the inkling that there's some movement going down to that lower bomb side. What he doesn't know about is the last couple of players, or still all being really around that lobby control. 2v4, very difficult for NickelBack and Krad to make anything happen here.
Searson frag found towards Krad, NickelBack alone towards the back site. Jump facing, trying to catch them off, but unable to really see anything here. The incendiary's down. Keto gets that plant. You can see Searson just watching. NickelBack found out by Tizian, so there's that second round in from the T side.
This is at least a way forward, but for Big, yeah, okay, it's the second round. They need a follow-up. They need to get themselves back into the game, start resetting the economy float, make it uneasy. And I think in Entropiq, that was probably a lesson learnt, right, Jay, of we've actually been playing quite passively. We haven't been making too many info plays. We haven't over-aggressed. And the one round we do where we try and crunch in from both ramp and that hut entrance, they get into a difficult position and start losing some fights.
Rifles brought back into the fold. Entropiq, as you would expect, the flies coming forwards. Work ahead of these smokes. The smokes thrown down towards the center of the site. It's Krad, however, picks up that kill towards Tizian. So draws first blood in for the Entropiq side. Krad can respond towards Keto and follow suit, make it a triple against Crimbo. Blind spray towards Tabson, doesn't quite follow suit. So 4 versus 2. Entropiq again locking out the trades. Big getting so unsuccessful here.
I just feel as if now that was another one of these rounds where you've got to follow up. You've got to continue applying the pressure. And instead, they get trapped around Squeak Door. The play-in does not work out at all. Lucky with a slight off angle. The boost even up with the AWP to try and get a high advantage. This is still very difficult for Big to bring back.
Scopes heard M4 of Lucky. Trying to look in towards that lobby position again, try and catch anyone off at trophy. But just can't seem to see him. They're going to back up. I think Big are saving here.
Yeah, hold on to their weapons. They know they've got no map control. The information has not really been gained on Entropiq over-peaking at all. And it just shows how cautious they were come round 10 of over-peaking when not necessary. Searson and Tabson to hold on to their weapons. 8-2 for Entropiq. This is just getting so rough right now for the Germans.
Yeah, half gained so effectively as well. It's so similar to the way things played out on Ancient. So the difference is it's on the favoured half. So whether that being a positive for Entropiq or a silver lining for Big, only time will really tell. Either way, it's a 6-round difference, and Big surely can't be happy with this.
No, they can't be at all. And they know they've got to pull your finger out a little bit and just get things started. I think more pace, more at least attempt towards the outside play has got to be where they try and approach. The top side plays and out towards ramp have been unsuccessful. And quite a lot of acceleration this time.
And again, these positions set in by Krad and co. Tagged to 40 HP thanks to the HGs. But the return sees nothing from Entropiq, even though they do gain some map presence for Lucky in particular, ahead of this smoke firing through, hoping that he can use those pre-fire angles and take down somebody, but nobody really spotted at this moment.
Forrester very aggressive up against the AWP, timing's everything. Information comes through and damage is dealt.
Very close wall bang on the second shot there for the AWP. Forrester is alive, but only just. Alongside Krad, who's also low HP. Crimbo hiding behind the AC box up top of Mini. Alien can't see him. Thinking he might be out there somewhere. Work in pixel gaps to look for. Outside is contested, but no kills are found.
Oh, getting close with that AWP, but Crimbo is quicker to the trigger, and now they can start splitting their way on the outside. They've smoked off main. NickelBack knows that Crimbo's close.
Yeah, heard that footstep, knows that he must have dropped off a Mini. Lucky tries to find a spray, and somebody coming in from the ramp control, but Keto just overwhelms with a quick headshot. 5-on-3 for the big side here. Crimbo working up towards Heaven Control. Has one man to find. Forrester playing double duty, trying to watch both the murder hole and the Heaven entrance from outside. Searson's AWP will strike on NickelBack towards the B site. Leave Krad alone in the 1 versus 5. It's one of those high impact, high confident rounds from Big that we see on occasion. The question is, will it be followed up?
It just felt as if there was so much more freedom once they've already done damage and dealt with the opening man advantage. They start working the outside. Notice that time around, you've got no one garage. You've got no one at credit card and deep in CT. The only outside hold, realistically, was NickelBack that was smoked off in main and the Heaven Control. So that just allows so much more breathing room, so much more map presence to be gained by Crimbo on the late lurk outside.
5 rounds to the difference. Big have started to bring things back, but they need to claw tooth and nail to get back to their 7th. Alien's AWP already strikes first. Tabson towards outside, decimated. They kickstart things here. Searson trades back on Lackey, a 4-on-4 scenario. Tizian diving down to lead the charge into the B site. There's nobody there directively. Krad is out of decon. Smoke's coming in from both him and the T side. The walk forward, try to spot someone at the gap in a smoke as Keto gets Forrester. NickelBack does get one of the change, but Searson maintains the 3-on-2 advantage for Big.
A very risky play of what Krad was able to try and achieve there, moving forward out from the single door, get close behind the silo. Alien and NickelBack still here to try and see if they can put some more pressure down.
Bomb plant goes in safe. NickelBack will spray through the decon door. Get nothing for it. Bomb should be seen soon by Alien. The scope could be heard, and there could be a flanking from window for Searson if he's feeling lucky. Entropiq certainly aren't, though. Backing up with the weapons, getting out of dodge. Then there it is. Confident round is followed up by Big.
It just felt as if in that sort of circumstance, yeah, Alien got the kill towards outside, but Lucky's struggling towards ramp in a couple of these rounds. He's playing a slight off angle. Rather than being out to the railings, he's actually further back in hell, and he just gets domed straight away. Rotations get caught off guard. And even for Krad, if he got a 1-for-1, getting that aggressive out from the single door, it could have been a very difficult circumstance or a different outcome, right? But instead, without him finding that kill, it forces Elliot and NickelBack to try and see if they can fight any over-peaking players on the post plan. That doesn't quite happen at all. And for Big, slowly getting involved on this T side.
And Entropiq looking to force invest as well into round 13. So it looks like Big won't be without issues in getting back into said map. But again, the start has been slow. If they can make 7 rounds at the turn of the half, that still could lead to positive things on the CT half. That's all dependent on if they can continue to follow up these rounds here. There's still 5 rifles in from Entropiq, 4 of which are M4s and an AWP. Marking in the helmet department won't matter here against the Big's against Big's AKs. Towards the outside they'll play. Smoke's being set up.
And NickelBack just getting really passive. Down onto the angle now. Was trying to play with the one-way. Once the smoke starts to clear, okay, fall back. No point hanging around this aggressively. A lot of outside smokes. Even though they're using a lot of utility, they're actually walking it, Jay. They're not making too much noise here.
Mars so close for Krad. Hearing the tags coming in against Tabson. Blind spraying. A stray bullet will catch him. Great kill. Little did he know where he actually was. He's going to be happy with it anyway. Entropiq starting off this round.
I gotta wonder where Big end up here. Whether they just get hell control and go down to ramp to lower, or just get into heaven and wrap into A. Because 40 seconds left on the clock. They've got a lot of outside presence. It's just, what do they do with it?
Seems like they just worked their way up into this heaven position. Keto on the bomb on his back. Crimbo leading the charge. Players just continuing to press the issue. It's Lackey with the M4 standing. Searson caught to 74 points of HP. 18 seconds. Damage continues to pour in against them. Keto will lose his life. They have no idea about this Rafters player. Finally, Crimbo will adjust towards it. But as he falls, his teammates have fallen with him. And Searson well out of position, well out of dodge, and well out of the round.
That crossfire was rock solid, wasn't it? Without clearing that top Sally position, you're just always going to have a tough time. You're not going to be able to get the instant response. The pre-aim wasn't there for Keto. Even the next player to follow up of Crimbo didn't quite have the information either. And with all that time stalling, and you've still got Forrester down on the bomb site directly from the back of silos and the back of default, he's going to continue to find picks and put some further damage up. 9 on the board for Entropiq. Can they get to double digits in the first half?
We're looking for it still. It would be on par with what they've had so far in these last couple of maps. Sprays through from Krad, certainly off on the right foot here. Searson tagged to 53. Tizian caught a little bit of that, I believe. Opening advantage. Damage being done to Tapson next. That nade takes him down. NickelBack opens the round.
Excellent coordination there. Just to be able to get the info spot on where roughly he is towards the outside. And even Elliot with the AWP, he's playing a ramp this time.
Drop down from Lackey might not be required. It might all rest on Elian to hold the defensive, but they have more balls up defense on the A site. Searson peeking out, offering himself up to Elian, as is Crimbo going to do the same. Nades out, damage will not be done, but Elian given enough breathing room to fall back into the site and take absolutely no damage.
I've got to imagine miscomms there. They were trying maybe a boost up, a flash that was going to come through. Whatever it was, it's just a dry face straight into the AWP. Forrester drops that bomb, knows where Keto is. 1v4. He's got plenty of time to work with, but even Krad's been able to relocate, get back here from default, and everyone else could just rotate over.
You're starting to notice a couple of common trends here. Entropiq might have troubles closing. Big have problems opening these maps here.
Yeah.
10-4. It's not been a good T-side. And I guess, again, it is T-side half, but this is starting to get a little bit out of control. They are going to have to rely so heavily on the second half to bring this match back to where it is. The buy-in for round 15 is at least going to look manageable. But 3 Galils out, not what you want to see.
And even Entropiq just know how much importance there are to having a positive note on round 15 and not happen what came through in map 2 of Mirage. AWP playing out from ramp, and maybe that was the adjustment, knowing that Lucky was struggling in ramp, put Ellie in there instead.
Utility thrown down, Tizian catches Krad, a gap in that smoke to work with, and no one, not even us, saw it there. Pick found, Crimbo, Searson making their way out towards the site. Forrester does get that one pick, unable to get that second. NickelBack charges up the vents, but loses his life. So it seems like there will be no positive entities for Entropiq to close out the half. Instead, positives for the big side. There's a 1 versus 4 for Elian. And unless he does something magical here, this will be another 10-5 half up for Entropiq. The third one in this series, in our third map. And indeed, that's how it closes. Big stuff from them on the CT side. Big of a chance to return, but it's going to be such a climb back after the break. It's been another 10-5 half for Entropiq going into the second of Nuke, our final map of the series. Big, once again, have got to claw back from the deficit. The question is it plausible this time?
I think it is. It always has been. It's always been the conversation of the competitive nature of the second half, but Big really need to get a start forward here into the pistol. Entropiq bringing a lot of players forward in towards what looks to be a topside play.
Very fast in, Lackey going to lead that charge. CT's trying to get themselves back into the site, but they've left it completely open to focus on the entryways towards outside and at the ramp control. Forrester trying to plant that bomb, but Lackey gives up his life, and they reconsider go down for the vent dive, but taking all that time, leaving Krad as the lurk, is able to get a 1-for-1 trade, a 4v4 even man standing as the bomb will get planted.
Oh, what a wild strat this is, and even Crimbo's been seen towards that right-hand side. You've still got a late lurk. Look who's coming ramp!
Inbound from Krad, they haven't accounted for this still. Crimbo's head taking clean off his shoulders, taps him with the counter flank, but Krad has seen it and does lose his life to try and engage for the kills. So evens once again a 3-on-3. Elian close, Searson coming inbound from the window, and Elian doesn't see it. Kill found as a result. NickelBack with the kill found, turns quick 90 degrees, and Searson and Tapson forced to trade 1-on-1, but no kid taps that bomb. Forrester knows to just open it at the right moment. Tapson instead forces the issue, and Forrester just runs for the hills, baits him in, gets that kill with a quick pop out of vents, and gets the pistol win for Entropiq.
It's very similar to the strat that Furia are running quite a few months ago on Inferno, where they try and fake the bomb plant to draw the rotates and go elsewhere. That's kind of what Entropiq were doing in that round, Jay. They go for the top site commitment, they get the smoke down to main, they fake the plant, and then they start slowly going down from the vents. Krad is almost a crucial position, though. Think about his hold out from Squeak Door and then going ramp. Him getting 2 kills was the defining factor.
And the force buy back in for Big. We'll see those Deagles, that 5-7, that scout. Try and counteract round 17, try to draw something in, but this could be a 13-5 scoreline if this continues down the route that Entropiq wanted to do. And with the dominion they've held over Big here on this map up, it definitely feels that's going to end up being the case. Forrester, burst fire, taps on, going for wall bangs, close towards one CT member, but unable to really find a kill against him. It's Krad and Tapson that trade blows, but Krad gets the finishing blow as he opens up the round.
There's just a lurk outside. He doesn't have any more support whatsoever, and that might start driving some rotates down, force Tizian into the vents towards that lower position. And Forrester's getting closer and closer with this spam.
Taps on. AK retrieved. Keto. Tizian on top of Hut in the rafters. They'll go. No wait for Entropiq to pop their way out of the squeaky door. Or out of Hut, depending on however they want to attack for it. It's actually a continuous push in from Krad that will find Sis down at 19 HP. He does win that fight, but Keto and Tizian have fallen on the A site in the interim, so a 4 versus 2. And from here, it's the bomb plant with no real chance at a retake for Searson or Crimbo.
Yeah, what we didn't quite see there was obviously Krad's continuation towards lower, doing some further damage onto Searson, and just over-rotating the CTs ever so slightly, making it awkward with the upper site hold, and now you're in a position where, realistically, Jay, is this series over? We have to get into that conversation, because when you lose pistol at a 5-10 deficit, and you lose the force buy, you're working with peanuts. You don't have any money. You don't have rounds to work with. Entropiq are really getting exactly what they were looking for in the second map of the series, which was a good start in the second half, and they're getting it.
Well, I come back to the observation I made at the tail end of the last half is that, well, Big might have troubles opening and Entropiq have troubles closing, as we've seen so far in this series.
The scorelines are different, though, aren't they?
Yeah, look, I'm going to add some caveat points. It's not truly over till 16 rounds hits. But we are talking about a 13-5 now coming into the pistols. I think that the rifle round is Big's last main stand. If on round 19 they get the guns out and they lose out there, Entropiq bound for map point, match point, and from there, that's where I think Big will lose.
Entropiq just know keep players alive, keep players up here, because the last thing they want is to cripple their own economy up against a light-ish looking round. Yeah, you've got that scout still in for Searson, who's going very aggressive looking for an outside peek.
Oh, he's caught off as well, seeing the player shoulder baiting at Silo, thinking there might be further flanks inbound. Indeed, there is. Nice counter nade from Crimbo. A shame it doesn't land towards that player. He escapes. A second one comes in, but they've just left Silo completely opened up, so nothing gained by Big there. It's a decent effort, Definitely one that you can add to your list of nades. But no impact here in round 18.
Gotta wonder here for Big. Is there going to be much at all? Because the majority of players are out towards ramp, and unfortunately, it means that the top side play, Tizian's going to get forced forward without much support.
USP set in as the T's and work their way forward. Forrester making quite a ton of noise again, trying to go for these wall bangs. Got to check that corner. There it is, Tizian falling at Jerry, as I've been told is the official call by Vendetta earlier last week, because Jerry from Forza likes to play there. The kill found regardless. Keto at 3 HP, somehow alive at the closed vent corner. Wrapped in a pond, they'll get that kill in the end, and the scout of CSN not long in this round. 4 on 2, Entropiq have the A site.
I got to think here for Crimbo, 2 options. Get that Galil in for some more exit damage, try and make more players fall, or bring it into the next round and don't need to upgrade to an M4 at all. Peeks in towards Hut and does damage onto NickelBack, but no more than that's going to happen. A couple of players low on HP, but 4 players staying alive, 13 on the board now for Entropiq. And for Big, we've seen a lot of tacticals from them. Map 1, Map 2. I'd love to see a tactical here because realistically, you don't have many more chances.
At this point, if I'm God B, I'm calling a tactical, and I'm doing the whole, like, you know, any given day speech at this stage.
Yeah, bring it out.
Like, you know, as at this point, you need it. We are talking about an 8-round difference. Big. Their last stand in this series on the last map. A map that, again, we talked about their own benefits to them. We definitely looked at, obviously, both sides having, you know, pros and cons to how things are going to play out, and I think neither of us expected it to be this one-sided, honestly. Close affairs from the word go, and in this one, Entropiq are one good rifle round away from getting control of map and match point, and most likely the match itself.
Now, even Krad has been such a specialist of being able to get down towards Secret silently and being a nuisance down at that lower bomb side. He crosses out with those smokes undetected so far. He's got a teammate of Elian waiting for a reface in Garage 2 to work the outside.
3 players pressing in with CSN and the player right behind it. There's NickelBack core. Lackey not ready for Crimbo, and that bait and switch allows 3 kills in the trot. CSN Crimbo a 1-2-1 punch combo. And Elian and Krad suddenly left alone. So there's the play that Big needs to get back into this round and this matchup by extension.
And they'll be feeling so confident after that one, because it really is a good bait and switch. You can see there for Entropiq, they lose the first fight to the AWPer. What do you want to do? You want to trade frag. You want to swing out wide. You want to put pressure down to turn it into a 4v4. And instead, they don't have that continuation idea that there's another player towards the left-hand side. Elian even getting wrapped on towards a player at the top of T-Red of Tabson means that AWP might not find any more in this round. Try and stay alive, but players are coming outside. They want to try and deal with them after time. Not quite going to happen. It's still around, and that's what Big are looking for.
Now, all 5 players alive as well, so the best kind of round you can find. Momentum boost, a mentality shift. They're first in the CT half, come in very late. Entropiq will still opt to go for a buyback into round 20, so it's still not impossible to shut this whole thing down. Again, we've seen Deagles do damage and win rounds so far in this series, so don't count Entropiq out till this round is done. But if they do take it, then you can almost certainly count Big out of this matchup. Krad tagged early. The CSN towards outside, that lands that AWP frag.
That's exactly what they warrant towards the outside position. Krad had the peeker's advantage, already did some damage with the spam, but doesn't quite finish off the kill entirely. Forrester on the other side, though, deals with Tizian. Great spam in from the hub position. That gets a frag from top side.
Okay, we roll with it. 4 on 4. Entropiq back in this one with flashes and smokes going out. Quick entries in from Forrester. NickelBack there for the trade. AWP is CSN overwhelmed. And 1 man left up in heaven, being joined by Crimbo in at hell. The incendiaries will stall Elian from getting into the site, but the bomb's going to make his way up there. The nades trying to come down and force Tabson out of dodge. The plant secured easy. Tabson no way back in. We'll just dive straight in. A suicide dive. Doesn't get the kill towards NickelBack, but NickelBack's just confused. Tabson with a double, and it's all left to Lackey. Sees the player up rafters. Diffuse being stuck, being marked off. Lackey's going to make his way around the corner, and Crimbo lands the kill. Manic stuff from Big, but it works.
I don't know what to say there. It is very wild with what happens in that round. First of all, they're able to get a spam to bring it back into a 4v4. They go for the pop out from Squeak Door just with a single flash, the run forward. They do very well to deal with all the anchors, clear out top site, put as much util up to heaven as possible. And I thought Big would have just saved there. 2v3, hold on to the weapons, bring it into the next round, but Tapson just flies into the side and Crimbo backs him up.
Once again, Big on the grind back, on the slow crawl into the comeback. B250s and Deagles brought out by Entropiq on an eco round. They'll boost up that Deagle to try to look for the AWP. Took that shot, missed it. Searson can't land a shot of his own, right, as they move quickly to cross out towards Secret. They'll be lucky down there. Alien, however, down and out of the round.
Yeah, Searson with this AWP, just trying to make sure that he doesn't get peeked on and crossfired set, so they drop the AWP. Entropiq just hoping for anything if they can muster up a pick towards that lower bomb site, put some pressure down, and Lucky's going to be the only one that could do damage onto Tabson.
Takes that quick pop shot off, and Tabson does more damage in return with a spray. So it doesn't seem like much luck here for Lucky. Awkward smoke as well, generating a gap in it, and Tabson's going to exploit that. Still doesn't get the kill for it. Keto finding Krad towards outside. Searson continuing to struggle with his AWP. But fortunately, that M4's there to bail him out. Tabson will get lucky in the end. So it's all left to Forrester. Hurd on top of Mini, dropping down. And finally, the York will land a frag in this round, bringing 8 for Big. Now back to the 5-round deficit. Entropiq. Guns are inbound for them, though. And for all intents and purposes, we're back to square one at the turn of the half.
Yeah, they know for Entropiq that some of the rifle rounds have actually been quite close. So even though they haven't been able to muster up rounds in a little while, it still comes down to the approach of we're so close. We're getting ever so closer to that 14th, and then you're just working with the confidence to round it off and to get all the way down to 16. Start working outside, a lot of smokes to work with, and realistically, no one is even close towards outside to defend for Big.
And taps forward on the Deagles. AWP going to try join the rifle inbound. Ramp entrance to bomb, however, committing with 4 players. A lurking from Forrester is drawing attention away from it. Matinzian's about to receive the full force of the Entropiq side. He's his first headshot, and NickelBack peeks into his crosshair, gives up the fight. But Lucky there with a quick response. 4 versus 4 scenario. No CTs on their way to rotate early here. They're just aware of the one man, not aware that the bomb's about to commit.
Yeah, Forrester's playing to the back of T-Red, though. He's waiting to try and cut a rotate off of one of those CTs going down to Secret. A lot of information to work with, and the molly to slow down at ramp while getting the bomb plant in.
Yeah, this is the backbreaker round here for Entropiq, where the Big will start to concede this series off the back of this post-plant. M4 set up, Tabson walking forward, Lucky with the AK. Watching the 2-ramp entryways, the smoke's down, Crimbo. Leaning in, the incendiaries out. Crimbo seen, Tabson seen. Tabson gets that 1 kill. Forrester with a trade. Lucky responded towards. So now it's the Krad and Forrester. The last 2 players left, gap in the smoke. No one seen crossing. Forrester joining his teammate in observation window. Keto on the defuse. Forrester opening the doorway. Got to get that kill desperately. Krad gets 2, and that's going to be enough. Searson on the defuse. Has he got it? I don't think he has. It's 14 for Entropiq.
Oh my goodness, one of those close rounds again, and that's going to feel like another situation in which it's a relief. Remember when Lucky was down there on Ancient and he just couldn't quite get there in time? Now it's the role reversal. Now it's Big not quite having time for the defuse, and those 2, Krad and Forrester, just crossfiring with one another, pulling the distraction, opening up the double doors. Krad gets 2, and Entropiq find their 14th.
What a result that is for them when they were pushed so down to the last second. The double spray down. What was required for Entropiq. It comes up good for them. They're going to just try the fast rush out. Mac 10 in for Forrester. Lucky with the AK. Turns on 1. Looks up towards Keto. It does make it a double and a triple for the trade. So not quite successful this time. Crimbo trading on Alien and dropping that bomb in the center of the site. It's all left to Krad. 1v3. Finding that first, but no more.
It's been a few times that Entropiq have tried that. They did it on the T side of Mirage too, when they have one of those sort of swing rounds where they feel as if they've got the confidence back, they just send it. They have it really quick. We saw it entirely most of the time out towards the B side. This time around, it's here on Nuke, and it's the top side play. Just get all the acceleration forward. They don't quite capitalize on those early entries. And for Big, it's been a difficult affair, but they are slowly bringing the comeback forward.
Just grinding it all the way back. Piece by piece, brick by brick. It's what we talked about earlier on during Ancient. Nades doing damage towards Krad at 28 points of health. Entropiq. Positions held as Searson surrounded with the AWP. NickelBack forcing forward. Crimbo sees that going. Bombing his back, gets that kill. Alien somehow comes up with a trade, but that seems to be the only trade for the C side. Maybe Searson running out of ammo, tosses that AWP away. But there's still 2 rifles that can get gained for Alien and Lucky here.
Just try and make it as expensive as possible. Get those AKs out of play, and even Lucky might catch one of the outside players repositioning down to the lockers. They've got so much time to work with. They don't need to make the play. They can slow it down completely.
At some point, they're going to make a move, though. The question is, will Big give anything up in that time? Based off what you see on the minimap, doesn't feel like that's going to be the case here. It's got players up towards the vent angle over on Quito's part. Tabs are, of course, outside, as you can see. And Tizian downstairs on the B site. So most of their basis is covered.
Try and get that bomb. Think back to the lower bomb site. And try and swap over rifles from one another. 40 seconds left. First defender, first point of call is going to be Tizian. How good is the pre-aim here for Alien?
Tizian's checking both sides of the entry. Lucky with the AK will move first, but that both moves a unit. Lucky's watching that window. Will he see the gun barrel? He might just do. Alien peeks in, catches the headshot with the wallbang. 2-on-2. This is back possible for Entropiq. Alien's even watching for the grab round from Quito in the vents. He's going to go from Decon side instead. Opening up the doorway, Lucky gets back out of dodge the same. Bombs in the open, planted for Toxic, and so are those double doors opened up. Lucky, trading places with Quito. Could this be the flank required? Alien's in trouble. They don't know about it. Lucky's not turning around either. Quito leaning in, sees the man with his back turned. Alien looks the wrong way at the right time. Now Lucky all alone, backs turned towards Decon. Quito found one-on-one, and Tapson's got no time towards this. Lucky knows, could just go for the wallbang sprays or just swing out from Decon. See the man make some noise, force him off the bomb, and force out match point for Entropiq.
Oh my god, the anti-eco gods are back at it again. What is going on? What is happening in this series? How is there another round with just pistols, mate? There was Glocks. Oh no. That is the round that gets Entropiq up to 15. I can't believe it, Jay. I had absolutely no faith that even that round was going to get a bomb play, let alone the round victory itself.
That is unreal. Entropiq do not want to die, but Big might have to be forced to do so in this series. Look at the buyback, and once again, full send from Forrester, straight up and out, taking Quito, tagging Tizian, unawares of the push forward in from lobby, but I don't think it will matter too much. Entropiq have the firepower. Big fragged out on the first frag. Forrester turns on the double. Searson and Quito both to fall.
Oh, what a beautiful couple of kills. That is some Forrester, and that means big time. This has such a level of importance in a round like this to closing out, getting a couple of opening man advantages. And now with the util placement, with the time that's still available, everything is in their favor.
The only thing Big have is potential in the time. And with Tabson falling, though, their time seems to be running out. Tizian top of the A site, hoping this Deagle does something, anything here. Will it be enough? Watching ahead of
patience.
Yeah, it is so slow.
They just know, at this point onwards, we don't have to panic. We know that we're up against a rubbish buy. And even for Crimbo, the only way that he can manage something is if they topside fake and head towards ramp.
Smokes down, Elian. Not dealt with by the AWP. Crimbo allowed a second chance, but it's not much of a basis. 16-9, and it's 2-1 in the series for Entropiq, who are heading now to IEM Dallas, working their best game, and unfortunately for Big, just disappointing towards the end of the series.
Can we just rephrase back to that round that got them up